Hello. There's a movie called Crocodile Dundee that came out in about 1986. And I remember seeing it sometime in the early 90s when I came back to the UK. And I really love this movie. It's a wacky, completely improbable film with this main character, Mick Crocodile Dundee, who is some Australian he-man that goes out in the bush and hunts crocodiles and a bit of a wild man, and has lived with the native Australians, the Aborigines, and sort of picked up some of their skills and stuff. And he has all kinds of like mystical powers as well as sort of physical ones. And he teams up with this journalist called Sue Charlton, who is an uptown New York girl, you know, independent and so on. I'm not going to go through the entire story, but they fall in love. And at the end of the movie, Sue is going to marry this other guy. And so Mick says, right, he's going to go walkabout, which means he's going to leave New York and explore the United States. So he heads to a tube station, the Metro, and it's really, really busy. And he's at the far end of this tube station. And Sue Charlton chases after him, goes down the tube station, and she can't get to him because there's a mass of people between them. And she kind of shouts at him, and there's a couple of guys sort of pass some messages on. And the very last thing, you know, she says, you know, I want to be with you and all this kind of stuff, yeah? And so Mick goes, well, what do you want? And so this huge big guy in the middle goes, what do you want? And that's what I'm going to ask you this morning. What do you want? Do you know what you want out of this life? Do you know what you want out of today? Do you know where you're going, what you're doing, why you're doing it, how you're going to do it? Have you ever taken the time to ask yourself this question? What do you want? And I'm not talking about, well, you know, I want a decent salary at the end of the day and I want a house. No, what do you really want? What if money was no option, if skill, talent, ability, time, and all that kind of stuff wasn't a problem, what would you want out of your life? Yeah, and what would you do to get it? Because for most of us, a lot of things are possible. Now, okay, I'm 60, so I'm never going to get to be an astronaut. I wanted to be an astronaut when I was a kid and then forgot about it. Ain't going to happen, okay? It's extremely unlikely. Unless I win the lottery and I get to fly on SpaceX or Virgin One Galactica, whatever it's called. Yeah. But it ain't going to be happening. It ain't going to happen for me. But there's lots of other things that I could do. And if you're a lot younger than me, you have way more opportunities, you have way more options, way more choice. But my question is, are you making the most of that? Do you have a clear goal? And again, I'm not saying about what I want to make, you know, 50 grand by the end of the year kind of thing. I'm talking about, do you have a life goal? Do you want to paint? Do you want to draw? Do you want to sculpt? Do you want to travel the world? Do you want to get married, get divorced? Do you want to meet new people? Do you want to start a charity? Do you want to help people? What is the one thing that really, really turns you on, that gets you motivated, that would make you wake up in the morning? What is it? What do you want? I need you to think about asking yourself this question every single morning when you wake up, because the sooner you get a clear idea of what you really want, then you can start making plans and setting goals around and actually going for it. As far as we know, we're only here once, okay? I think you and I can agree on that. Yeah? So why waste this opportunity to do that one thing? You know, look, it might not work, you might not get there, but think of the fun you're going to have on the journey. Think of the people you're going to meet. Think of the stuff you're going to see. Think of the things you're going to do. Yeah. When I was in my 20s, I hitchhiked around the UK, around Europe. Yeah. I did lots of weird, wacky things and met loads of people, had loads of fun because that's what I wanted to do. And, you know, circumstances changed. I came back to the UK at the end of the 80s, but what's stopping you from doing what you want to do? Yeah. Do you have a clear idea? Because if you don't, you're meandering. You're like a sheep in a field that just wanders from one clump of grass to the next. Yeah. And that's all it's bothered about is, you know, where there is some more grass for me to eat. It's got no direction. It's got no ambition. It's got no idea. Now, if you're happy with that, then fine. But it's such a shame to waste this opportunity. Gary Vaynerchuk said that we are so lucky to have actually been born, as in me and you. I think it's like several trillion to one that we are the individual that was born when our mother gave birth, yeah, because of all the, you know, the different configurations of eggs and sperm and timing and all the rest of it, yeah. We could have been born a different person. So we, as we are today, could not necessarily, would not have had this opportunity to live this life, yeah. If you're going through a tough time now, understand that it's not permanent, it's a temporary situation, but you must know what you want. If you don't know what you want, then other people are going to tell you what you want, and you're going to follow other people's paths, yeah? And they aren't as much fun. You're doing what they want and not what you want. Why waste your time, your life, your energy, your love, your enthusiasm doing what somebody else wants or what you think you should be doing because that's what they're doing? No. Do your own thing. Find your own thing. And if you say to me, Paul, well, I don't really know, that's okay. Just make a list and chuck a pin at it and pick that one thing, because guess what? As long as you're doing something, you will find your thing along the way. You'll find what you enjoy, you know, whether it's photography or painting or helping people or climbing mountains or windsurfing or free diving or sailing, driving cars really fast, whatever it is. If you pick one of those things and do it, that will lead you closer to the thing you want to do more than anything, yeah? Grab this life by the balls and shake it. That's a mixed metaphor, isn't it? Shake it until the branches fall off. Oh, I love mixing metaphors. It's great fun. But enjoy your life. Get the most out of it, because we never know what's going to happen this afternoon, tomorrow, next week, next year. Who the hell knows? I mean, today there's a meteor flying by, which is as big as London Bridge, apparently. Now it's not going to cause any damage. It's not going to hurt anybody. It's going to fly past, you know, and wave on the way through. Okay. But there's millions and billions of these things around the place, so we never know. So why wait? Why waste your time? If you know somebody that you really fancy, you want to go out on a date, bloody well go and ask them. Yeah. If you don't like your current job and you've seen something that you really fancy doing, then write your CV, get somebody to help you write your CV and put in your application. Call the recruitment department, yeah? Call the HR and find out how you can get that job. And if you don't get it this time, figure out why you didn't get it and keep pushing until you do get it, yeah? We need to live with enthusiasm. I spent a lot of my life being miserable and horrible and depressed and fed up and looking down and thinking that this was the worst life ever, okay? I've turned that around now, and I have fun. Even though yesterday was a shitty day for me, I still turned it around and I learned from it and I'm moving forward. Can you say the same thing? Do you know people around you that go through day after day after day and it's identical, it's exactly the same? Well, don't you be that person, yeah? Figure out what you want and then go do what you need to do to get it. Listen, one question before I go. What kind of content, what kind of things would you like me to talk about in these videos that I do every morning? I'd really appreciate it if you spend a minute and drop me a comment below, or if you'd rather do it privately, just drop me a PM. I'd love to know the kind of stuff that would help you, you'd find interesting, find fun for me to talk about. The other thing is I've got a group, and I've asked in the group and they've not really come back with some ideas. So I really want some ideas from you guys about what you would like me to talk about, to discuss with you. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. Have a fabulous day. Bye now.